No, but it's
then
the
you'll
same
generate
for
cash.
euro. Currency has been going down since 2008 also.
I mean, seriously, like, what did they teach you in your school system? How you go from Napoleon to like giving up to the Germans twice in a row?
Giving up to...
Remember?
What do you mean we won? No, why
Well,
twice?
eventually you won, but
You
I'm just
won
saying, like,
First
why
World War.
why do
First
the
World
French have a reputation for surrendering?
War. That's not bad. Not the First
They
World
don't
War.
want to fight.
We've had like 4 or 5 million deaths in the First World War. We didn't surrender in the First World War, but in the Second one, yeah, we did.
I'm
They
just saying, like,
smokes got it, and
Napoleon's like the most, like, he's the epitome of like badassery.
Yeah, we're not proud of Napoleon anymore. Overall, yeah.
that's what you're gonna do, and then you're gonna do that.
Yeah, but I'm getting 10% APY with dividends. No, honestly, it's true. French
all they
market
were
gives really amazing dividends compared to other markets.
Actually, I mean, if you kind of like, if you're reaching for it, you could say that's a falling wedge.
Hey, Zeusy, look at my live stream real quick. I just want to double check something.
But still, in the last weeks, we're going up, you're going down.
Yeah, this is one 7-day stretch, whatever this is. You zoom way in on the chart, it looks amazing.
Qui-Gon, what are you playing with over there?
Well, he was bragging about how his stock market over there is going up, so I'm like, okay.
No. You're playing with something on your lap, or what are you doing? What's that noise?
That's his mouse.
Oh, it's my mouse.
Holy
sorry.
shit. Okay, I was just making sure I didn't know what that was. All right.
Crusty ass Walmart mouse.
Check it. Can you check Germany too? Because it could be a bit of a different story. Germany is doing
Yeah, what is it? The DAX?
Yeah. Or DU40 or DAX. DAX doesn't. Not sure DAX is gonna give you a ticker. Yeah, it will. DAX index.
What did you call it earlier? You called it cucks?
CAC.
CAC.
Cax?
What is it? DAX 40? Is that?
Just DAX is enough. Yeah, DAX. DAX.
Chucks.com.
Maybe that one follows America better because I think
what was the code? What was the code that you had before?
DAX for Germany.
Dude, I swear that doesn't DAX index.
Yeah.
What is this? Is this Germany?
Yeah, that's the top. It's the top German companies, and now if you divide that by we're pumping, man. It's not a joke. If you divide that by SPX, you're gonna see a bit of a different story than France because dividends are actually reinvested in DAX chart, if I'm not wrong. So now you can compare it with S&P, and you see
still in a downtrend.
Yeah, but it's flat, right?
Qui-Gon, see if your noise cancellation is off. That shit is very loud.
It's still in a downtrend, but look at how stable it is, right? Like you're in a range. It's basically following America. Why? Because dividends are reinvested into this index. Well, it's not the case with the one I showed you. But if you add dividends to France, you're gonna end up with this chart. It's just following America. America goes down, we go down. America goes up, we go up. It's the end of that.
It almost sounds like an SNL skit because he's like, "Here, let me show you on my chart," and then you hear this click clack click 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 clack. Let me show you a little bit what's going on here. It sounds like you're like spoofing us.
He's got that mechanical keyboard.
Notice the green vector at the right. Like there's potential in Europe to go up compared. Just go to resistance. Like. This is interesting stuff, man. Like if Germany is at support while trying to break support back towards resistance, maybe that's where the new money is gonna come from. Like even if America goes into a recession, if abroad it doesn't go into recession, oh wait, what's the probability of that? No, never mind. If America goes into recession, we're all in trouble.
Well, if we do, it's self-induced.
Well, yeah, they want to provoke it so that Trump pivots, right? Powell pivots.
Don't forget that stock market going down means people will fly into bonds. Bonds means yields go down. Yields go down also influences Powell. Excuse me.
Is this Is this any better? I had it. It was on crisp. I just reset all my settings. It was
No.
on crisp, but now it's on standard. It's not any better.
Nah, it sounds like your mic. It sounds like you're using your mic as a mouse.
It
Epic, you want
sounds funny, dude.
Yo,
My
that's
mic is on
like
the same
being in
time.
a
All right, guys.
Telegram.
Yeah, next trade, I'll buy a new mouse. All right. Next time I take profit.
That's like when you're in the
But if you
Telegram
if you
chat
switch your
already.
noise cancellation to crisp or one of those settings, they should be able to cancel that out.
It just sounds like you've got like a Chinese calculator over there, one of those old school.
I mean, dude, I swear to God, this mouse is from like 1990. It's ancient.
It sounds like it.
In the meantime, Bitcoin is back above 78. Oh boy, that inverted
I'm all
financial
in.
second kind of played
Dude,
out.
this is like an Atari style mouse. I'm like not even joking.
Are we supposed to TP already here? Hell, oh no. You know what? I ordered it.
Not
This
yet.
is like one of the first optical mouse that ever came onto the market.
Epic, what did you find as bearish argument? Please tell me.
Oh no, it's just I'm kind of just trying to figure like when we had this retracement here during the first bull run, and then I'm looking over here. We technically had our first retracement similar to that on this side, where we did
35%.
yeah, where it completely retraced back down from like so when we look from here, we came up and we already completely retraced that whole run. Similar to what we did here on our first attempt. We came up, retraced the whole run. And
Yeah, it's
then
actually a
we
bullish
had
argument.
an
Okay, cool.
yeah, and then we had the bullish upside. But remember, we were cut short before here, right? We didn't get that extra like we were supposed to before the bear market started. But when you look here, we did get that pop and we didn't get front run this time and we did come up. So, that's why I'm trying to think. I'm trying to make an argument whether or not if this was the top.
Oh, no ABC to the top and then bear market. Yeah, it's scary possibility. I don't think it's likely. You know why?
Be-
Bitcoin will have underperformed freaking Nasdaq if we topped here. Nasdaq made a new all-time high of 35% higher high than COVID all-time highs. If Bitcoin can't even give us that, and if you add 35% to 69K, well, we barely got that, right? Then there's no point in trading crypto. Like it's
Well, I mean,
literally
we've
already
got
dead.
Epic,
I'm
take a
better
look
off
at my screen for a second.
Like, I'd be better off trading Nasdaq than trading crypto if it can't do outperform. Yeah? So it's gonna
your
come.
stream is full. Sorry, max number of views.
Look at you got YouTube?
Oh, hang on, I'm pulling it up on YouTube. Give me a second.
All right, I got pushed to talk now. So I won't be scrolling the mouse in your ear.
Okay, I'm up.
Damn, your stream is full. Alright, well, never mind.
You see what I'm looking at?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at you.
And this is the line where we get past that 10-week delay between BTC and global liquidity. So if you want to do the matchy game, that's the best fit.
9 weeks. So 5th of April would be a buy, not a
Yeah.
sell.
Take a little look at this too. Q1 2023, Q1 2024, Q1 2025. tread very carefully here, bears. My advice.
So Dbloc, do you think that this is a final blow off top, like and maybe fifth wave of the Elliott, like the guys were saying, or do you think there's still actually a lot more after that?
I mean, you got to remember, like, that wave 5 easily gives us that 125, 150 on Bitcoin. It's what happens with the alts between here and there that really give the sort of, you know, the big gains. So it's a bigger push now, obviously, right? Because we're pushing from 77 instead of 90. So there's more meat on the bone. But I still don't think we get higher than 125, 150. But that last push on Bitcoin is very important for everything else. All we need now is for quantitative tightening to stop.
Last time we only had alts wake up when Bitcoin managed to break out, right? It's only when Bitcoin broke out above 74K that we saw some alts start to move up. Is it going to be similar here, where we're going to have to wait for Bitcoin to push above 110 to see alts, you know, go up?
I don't want to sound like Benjamin Cowan, but I think that the alts need Ethereum to go home. Alts need Bitcoin BTC pair. ETH BTC pair to bottom out.
Damn.
And during the last run, the only time ETH BTC pair bottomed out is when quantitative tightening stopped.
You know, he thinks so. To him, going home means like going to the lower band of the logarithmic regression channel, which it would be at like $800.
Yeah, between 8 and 950. But the middle of the band is 1600, which is what I'm shooting for. Excuse me.
I'll take it. I'll take a $1,600 ETH.
Well, we're almost there. We got 17 something, just 5% more down. Not even 5. What? 16.
I need it because now there's some altcoins that are impossible to DCA into unless I swap Ethereum for it, which is an extra expense in itself. So if I'm going to move Ethereum into another wallet, then I only want to have to do it once or twice. And I don't want to have to pay a lot for Ethereum. And I'd rather swap it when it's higher up. Like, so if I buy Ethereum now and I wait for Ethereum to 2x and then I swap it for some other like shit coins on like layer 2s on Ethereum, those should, in theory, not have pumped yet. Like Ethereum pumps and then trickles down into those smaller ones. So I got to try to get Ethereum while it's cheaper. Even though it's not as cheap as I've seen it, but it's cheaper than it was. I thought I was gonna miss out on it, and I'm like, oh crap, what am I not gonna be able to ever buy ETH below 4K again now? And then it came down to 2K twice.
It's funny that YouTuber says $800 because I feel the same. I don't know why. Well, because we lost micro-SR, right? So it makes sense. Can't stay above 28K, then just put a new bear market button.
What's that website where it shows if ETH is inflationary or deflationary at any given time?
We'll see though. All it has to do is go back above 2,100.
I totally forget what the website is, but I know there's a tool that you can use that shows whether it's inflationary or deflationary at any given time because of the burn rate. Oh, I need to pick a new push to talk because it's messing up my screen. I'll find a good one. I'll just mute my mic if I'm gonna be scrolling.
Dbloc, the Fed meeting is next Wednesday. Not this Wednesday, but the one after. So it's not too far. We could have a surprise rate hike. No, they could even increase rates to cause further downside. No, wait, how does it work? Oh no,
It
they're
won't be
supposed to
increasing
rate cut.
anything. Cutting is
But
what
why
we
not?
want.
Dixie lost a lot of value. Like, you know, the point of increasing rates is that people actually.
We don't just increase rates because the Dixie went down.
But how are you gonna buy Europe if your money loses value?
Got plenty of money, Zuzi. Europe is cheap.
Okay, all right, yeah, I forgot.
Give me 1 second.
Maybe you don't want to buy Europe anymore. That's a possibility too. Huh? You allowed us to pump for 40, 50 years. So maybe what's the bets? I'll look on forex bets. What are the bets for the next meeting? But I guess it's just a pause again on the rates and maybe some signs that they'll hike. That they'll cut rates. Sorry. You know, Europe cut rates again last meeting while America didn't. We're down at 2 point something in Europe now. That
Yeah,
should be-
everybody else is right where we should be. A lot of quantitative easing coming through too. We're just delayed.
Like ECB, Christine Lagarde, she dropped rates last meeting. Not by much, though, by 0.25, I think. But there's a
She
big
also
difference.
announced the
Oh,
digital.
dude.
She also announced the digital euro CBDC.
Look at this. This says so. This, according to this, it is inflationary because there's only been 1,348 ETH burned in a 7-day time frame. 1,348 burned. 17,988 have been issued. So they're burning 70K a year, but there's 938K issued each year. So I guess this is sort of supply growth. This is like the inflation rate, 0.72% per year. But this says time frame 7 days.
Well, that's how you give a 15% APY, right?
Yeah. But I mean, still, if you've got an inflationary thing, this is why Bitcoin's better than ETH. I don't know. I'm not an ETH fan.
Oh, but 0.7% is not a big deal if it's 1 year to. I mean, that's really not much.
Well, this
You
might
could
be
see
this
that
might
the
be for the
negative-
past 7 days. If it's 0.72% over the past 7 days, then
Oh, 7
that's
days.
crazy.
Okay, can
Yeah,
you
look
go?
at because look at it. Well, I mean, okay, so 0.71% per year, but only over the past 7. It's calculated only over the past 7 days. That's the growth
Yes,
rate over.
It's very little, right? We're talking 10,000 ETH out of 120 million, right? Oh no, 70,000 out of 120 million. So it's well 0.7%
Yeah.
per year.
Oh, this just jumped up. So 6,000. Now it says 6,000 ETH burned. I wonder why that changed so quick. Somebody must have made a
They
big
just
transaction.
burned North Korean hacked ETH. Could we have a vote and decide to burn that ETH?
Yeah, I doubt they're gonna do that.
I saw
Gas
projects
market.
do that kind of stuff. You know, when Mantle was at bear market bottom, they decided to not allow FTX to dump the bit tokens they had. So they passed a vote, and it won. Where if FTX was to reopen, they wouldn't be able to sell those tokens, something like that.
I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this because I need this to be lower the gas fees. This tracks the gas fees. So if it's at 19.9 GUI right now, the average is 1.6. So it's way above average. It's nowhere near the max at 122, but it's still way above average.
If you guys want a bull run, it's time to buy Bitcoin. It's right at the 50. If you need some help getting over, not financial advice, but
Nothing we can do can help it. We need someone big. And
Actually,
if
no.
Zeusie's right about the North Koreans selling it, then I doubt that any buy pressure is going to overcome the sell pressure. We'll just have to wait for them to dump it. Well, if that's actually what's happening.
But Bybit has to buy the ETH they got stolen, right? Like
They already bought it. They said they bought it back.
Yeah, but they have to. Like, where's the price impact, man? I don't get it.
I don't know, but so, like if it's like a
What I see
ransom,
the part is that Bybit sold ETH, not that they bought ETH.
all right. Well, say this for example. If it's like a ransom, right? They could be like, oh hey, well you stole $1 billion worth of ETH from us, and you got it for free. Can you just sell it back to us for 200 million? And like you get a free $200 million, but just give us our ETH back. You know what I mean?
They don't care about that.
Nobody's
Or
ever
they
gotten
could
a
take
red cent back from Lazarus Group.
And I get it. They did an OTC trade. I don't know who else was the 10th biggest ETH wallet to have that much to give them, but they got the ETH back. Okay. It should put equal buy pressure to the sell pressure of North Korean Lazarus Group selling its ETH into other tokens or whatever they're doing.
So yeah, how are they going to get away with dumping it without being tracked? Is the question.
That money's gone,
there's
guys.
tools. There are tools, to hide transactions,
You talk about getting away with it. What does not getting away with it look like when you got the backing of the North Korean government? What are you're gonna catch them, and what are you gonna do? You're gonna tell Kim Jong-il, hey, these guys stole something from me? And he's gonna do what? You know what I mean? There is no catching these guys.
Do they really get the backing of their government though? I thought they were just
It's state sponsored. Nah, it's state sponsored. It's just like Russian hackers. They literally have government offices that they work in. Employee of the month parking lots, cafeterias that they take lunch in. Like, yeah, it's institutional.
North Korea got that Ethereum now.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how they go about like pressing charges or some sort of thing like that. Like, I mean, that is all another question. But I mean, at least they could figure out where it went. But I guess they kind of already know where it went.
So check this out. This is ETH against our global assets, right? So this is our balance sheet. When balance is going down, we're in quantitative tightening. When they start adding to the balance sheet, we're in quantitative easing. Goes down, we're in quantitative tightening, right? When Bitcoin USD pair is making higher lows and quantitative tightening, and we're in quantitative tightening, ETH BTC goes down. Right? This is ETH BTC right here. Pink line is ETH BTC. As long as ETH USD is holding and we're getting quantitative tightening, ETH BTC goes down. ETH BTC doesn't stop going down until Ethereum breaks that downtrend or breaks that uptrend. As soon as quantitative tightening stops, ETH BTC bottoms.
So when Powell stops selling stocks, you think
when they announce quantitative tightening, we should see a bottom on ETH BTC. So if we look at where we at now, just remember this.
That's Wednesday.
Hopefully. Just remember this. Quantitative tightening, ETH holding higher lows, ETH BTC bleeds. Now look at where we are now. Quantitative tightening,
I can't. Your stream is full.
ETH BTC holding higher lows. I'm sorry, ETH USD holding higher lows, ETH BTC bleeds. Until quantitative tightening stops, I think ETH BTC keeps going down. Now, what that means for ETH USD, this ETH guys aren't gonna, not gonna make any friends here. QT, ETH BTC finds its bottom. ETH USD continues to bleed out for a couple months. Or for about a month, I should say. So ETH BTC finds its bottom first. And then ETH USD finds its bottom.
Oh, so you expecting Bitcoin to dump after ETH BTC found the bottom?
Once ETH BTC finds a bottom, ETH USD should have about a month before it hits its bottom. But more importantly, just because ETH BTC bottoms doesn't mean ETH USD will.
Yeah, of course. But it just means that you might make more money longing ETH than longing Bitcoin.
Well, yeah, at that point, it's a go. At that point, ETH should outperform Bitcoin for the remainder of the run. But until then, you're bleeding out against your BTC pair on ETH, which means you're better off just holding Bitcoin even through these dips. Even through this dip, the Bitcoin that I'm holding is going to buy me more ETH. Right? Because ETH BTC is bleeding harder.
Slowing down a bit though.
Yeah.
Compared to 2nd of February.
And then if you want to talk about what happens once we get into QE, then, Fed start adding to their balance sheet. You get a risk on environment and everything. ETH BTC, ETH USD, balance sheet, everything goes up.
The banana zone.
Including inflation, right?
This up.
Including inflation.
So is there like a WAL, CL, like of total assets for the Chinese people?
Not one that you can trust. Then again, they would probably say the same thing. Yeah, they would probably say the same thing about us, though. I would imagine.
I mean, I think it's pretty clear that the Fed's not buying stuff.
But but they've already started quantitative easing. They're up and to the right on their QE already in China.
So,
No,
but how do you tell?
The Fed is not buying. The Fed is still selling. That's what Powell said at last meeting, that they're still selling.
Yeah, you have to stop the reduction of the balance sheet.
Oh, in China?
Yeah, in China. And
China
China started a couple months ago when they got that 200 billion. They okayed that 200 billion, and then they okayed another 480 billion or something after that.
And then
but what is how can we look at a chart like that? Like, you know what I mean?
Can't. You just have to take their you have to take their word for it that they're injecting liquidity. I mean, we see it. We see it in the markets because you can see global liquidity go up. If you look at global M2, then you'll see all the liquidity.
You know what I don't like about the total assets balance sheet is like I think you can only go for like a month at a time. Like you can't go on a lower time frame than a week, so you can't see like week to week or
there's some indicators that
they've started.
There's indicators that you can get that'll show you an oscillator on lower time frames, but yeah, the chart itself is macro only.
Do you know that Shanghai index needs a 2x up just to go back to 2007 highs?
Yeah.
Like just to go back to 2007's all-time high.
Tyler, I think those price points are a little low, just in my opinion.
You kind of can't pinpoint the bottom of the tightening cycle until they announce it, and then by then the bottom's already in.
That crazy?
The bottom was
That
already
started
in
working on here.
August, yeah, in China.
I was able to buy this thing.
5th of August. It's not only Bitcoin that bottoms. China also bottoms.
Yeah, Tyler, my opinion a little early. I think BTC's basement bottom is 69, or it's not going back up. And ETH, I'm looking more at 16.
Well, see, Beast Mode's got the right idea. He said I start buying ARB, exploiting my turbo powerful euro because the euro's going up against the dollar.
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah, you can get
it's such an interesting point. You, Dbloc, don't forget inflation, right? You want to buy 1600. That's a price point from 3 years ago. There's been a lot of inflation.
Has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with the price point 3 years ago. It's got to do with support and resistance from this year.
Yeah, but if you looked at support and resistance in constant
Brother,
dollars,
if that's the case, we've got to take inflation into consideration, and every stop, every resistance we have, every
yes,
it's a cool mental exercise, but nobody's doing that, bro. It's not necessary.
I'm just saying, 1600 could be forthrown by 10%, basically, because there's been roughly 10% inflation.
I wonder if there's like an inflation adjusted chart for Bitcoin.
Yeah, divided by gold. Then you're gonna notice that we never made the all-time high. We just did a triple top up there. Triple top big since.
When we go to the supermarket, we don't adjust the price of eggs for inflation. We just know them shits are expensive.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, like
when it's years YTA, it is important. Like it's about we're talking. If was at this level 3 years
It's
ago.
important if you drew your resistance from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Seriously, if
But
you
I
look
didn't.
at BTC divided by Euro, or BTC divided by JPY, or BTC divided by GBP, or BTC divided by CAD, like any of them, like they all hit all-time highs before Bitcoin USD did. They went past a new all-time high before BTC USD ever even hit a new all-time high.
Yeah. Yeah, because Euro was down at 103, even lower.
Cold Cat with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. It's $5 to buy the dip with. Let's go.
I think that was it, dude.
On the BTC pair, it's the same value as 2017 low, and also like current ETH prices can be compared to summer 2021, and that was 4 years ago. Are we really at the same value? Yeah, prices are in the same area, but actually we're lower.
We should really just track BTC's value in eggs.
Yeah, but eggs are ripping right now too, so
That's the problem.
Yeah,
So that means BTC is really at 69 already, which means we touched bottom. So we should just be going all in if you use the BTC egg chart.
The eggs BTC pair.
Hold on, Zeusy wants to argue this. I gotta hit. Go ahead.
No,
no, you sounded like you were really gonna give me a serious argument against the egg chart.
But it could be interesting, to look which one outperforms. Food prices.
All I know is if you sold $100 worth of BTC right now, it buys you less eggs than if you sold $100 worth of BTC months ago.
Hold on, what if you did BTC divided by US inflation rate? BTC
or BTC divided by a chicken.
In Bitcoin is to beat inflation, right? Like it's to be a store of value and this and that. It's doing a great job at that.
Yeah, that we don't have to worry about. We know we're beating inflation on BTC at the very least.
But when it's trades that are more than 1 year wide, we have a problem in our charts. the currency is not a stable coin.
Just
It's a
like
shit
anything
coin.
else, though. It's like you're trading an ETH BTC pair. Right?
The
You got
S&P
two
futures
fluctuating. You
started
got
down.
two fluctuating assets.
Yeah, but if you trade, yeah, but if you trade like, I don't know, Euro, USD, you don't have that issue. Huh? You're just looking at the ratio. Whereas here, we're not looking at the ratio. We're looking at the support and the resistance.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like
You guys wouldn't have that problem if you stopped valuing your portfolios in USD. You just start
this is like a
denominating in
huge.
Bitcoin. You don't have to worry about all that shit.
This actually tells a crazy story right here because March of 2020 up to June of 2020, this skyrocketed 5,000%. But from the bottom in June 2022 up to the top that we made, it's only up 1,800%.
COVID here.
You divided
Well,
BTC by what?
This is BTC divided by US inflation rate year over year.
Yeah, but it's a rate. It's not yeah, it's because the angle of the increase in inflation was very steep. We were having 10% month.
Mm-hmm.
Inflation was at 10% per month.
Yeah, that would have sent that chart parabolic.
Yeah, that's why you have that crazy up move there. It's when inflation.
Yeah, we
it's
still
when
got
the
this.
CPI was giving you 10% readings and all. But yeah, now we're like at a constant 3%. It's been like 2 years. We're 3% inflation, and Powell is like, I'm not getting.
This is still.
We're fully committed to bringing back inflation to its 2.5. Yeah, if I hear him say that shit one more time, bro.
Well, he's gonna say it.
They keep asking because they keep asking him. Imagine how frustrated he is every time he gets the question and he's got to start with that stupid.
Wednesday, we know the first words he's gonna say.
Yeah,
my servers to the public, keeping inflation back to 2%.
Yeah.
Employment.
There's only 4 years that it didn't beat inflation, and they were bear market years. 2018, 2014, 2018.
Yeah, that's why we trade stables and fiat during the bear market.
But last Powell was really fun for me because when I heard him say, hey, obviously we avoided recession.
Yeah, until Trump got on yesterday and said, or day before yesterday, this shit is all lining up. I'm telling you, but it's all a ploy to move Powell's hand, to force Powell's hand. When they asked him what he thought about inflation and he said he wasn't ruling it out, the president of the United States is typically not supposed to say those things. Like, they're the ones that are supposed to be like, no, nothing to see here, guys. Everything is fine.
And then also when they asked him about rates, he said he doesn't really care about rates right now.
It just sends it sends a shock into the system. That I don't believe for a second. I think he's trying to force Powell's hand and he's trying to hide his motivations by saying he doesn't care about rates. But look at everything he's doing. Weaker assets push people into the bonds, lowering yields, forcing Powell's hand, getting rid of all those federal employees, skews unemployment numbers, pushing Powell's hand. All these tariffs drop the dollar, which again forces Powell's hand. Everything he's done, all the major progress that he's made in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, have all been meant to skew those metrics to make Powell pump the market.
Not only that, he always was telling Powell to cut rates, like leading up to just I think a couple days ago. Now he's like all of a sudden saying he doesn't care about it.
Well, because Powell made it very clear, Powell's like, I don't care what the president says. He has no control over me. We're independent. So I think that it's actually a smart move from Trump, and I'm surprised by it because he could have egoed him, and he didn't. Trump almost respected the fact that, okay, I'm not going to force this guy's hand, and the more I try to do it publicly, the less chance it's going to happen. So if you can't control your enemy, you control the metrics that cause your enemies to make decisions. And to me, that's what he's doing.
You said Powell doesn't care about Dixie. I'm not that sure about that. Like, it put it put the Fed in a very strong position, having the dollar high. Having a lot of lee room in case something happened to actually cut rates. Right, like right now, America has more.
Powell did everything
potential.
right. Powell was the adult in the room. I don't have anything against how Powell's handling this. Honestly, it sucks for our bags, but Cold Cat with a $50 super chat. Somebody got a nice short this week. Appreciate you, Cold Cat. W super chat, bro. My man is riding a short down to the depths.
In the end, I think he has less room to cut now. It's gonna send the Dixie even.
What do you
lower if
think
he
Powell's
sends it.
waiting for to cut? What kind of metrics do you think Powell needs to see to start cutting? First, two things. One, to start cutting.
already
Two to stop reducing the balance sheet. What do you think he's waiting for to see?
Well,
Unemployment.
That's one.
Well, inflation back at 2%, I guess. But
That's the obvious one. What does he need to see to make that move early? He needs to see the signs of something
things
breaking.
going south.
He needs to see the signs of
Things
something
going
breaking, and he needs to see unemployment. His two major mandates are to create balance, right? And to promote healthy employment. Those are the two metrics that make him move. If you can affect those two metrics, you can make Powell do whatever you want. Because he's going to go buy the book. So now look at what Trump's been doing, and look at how what Trump's been doing have been affecting those two metrics. Unless you think that's just a coincidence. Either way, who cares whether he's doing it on purpose or not? It's affecting those metrics faster than it would had he not done it.
Guys, speaking of Trump, I'm dumping my bag here, so be careful.
Powell knew this. That's why he didn't cut last time, right? He knew Trump would try to. Well, with the tariffs, he was like, "There's going to be a lot of uncertainty. Let's keep our potential at cutting rates for later."
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, he doesn't want to cut too early.
Nah, Cold Cat, I remember you from the other chat, bro. Welcome back. We got a lot of old heads coming back through.
But now with Dixie this low, while Europe has already cut and America hasn't, you guys are in trouble. You're really in trouble.
It's coming.
Because Dixie is gonna, in short time frame, it needs to pump back up a bit. But when rates are gonna be cut in America because of unemployment and recession and this and that, that's when Dixie is really gonna dump.
Don't forget our yield, our yield inversion, right? We have an uninverted yield curve, which means if yields go down drastically, that's going to be seen as a sign of something breaking. And prices going down on the stock market right now, like Tesla going down 14% in one day, pushes people to safety, which pushes them into bonds, which in turn reduces the yield, which in turn pressures Powell.
To cut, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it costs him too much to keep interest.
Yeah. Which is why I believe Trump came out. Yeah. Which is why I believe Trump, when he walked out of the airplane to that press and said there's going to be some short-term pain, this is what he was sort of signaling. I have a plan to take us somewhere, but we've got to go through some pain to get there. He just didn't point at Powell and say because of him. But I read between the lines.
I called it COVID dip, but let's call it Powell dip, actually. Makes more sense. Dixie has textbook Elliott wave 3 legs up, pinpoint perfect, and we're now starting to trade below 74k equivalent. And you have a golden pocket that's very low. Forget trading below 100. Like it's much lower. Golden is at 84. Would be nice to see a downward ABC towards 84, and even ultimately 79 for Trump's signature on Dixie chart. We'll end up calling this the tariff wars and its impact on the dollar.
The Trump pump on crypto also had a lot to do with this. Sucking all that liquidity out with that Trump coin and then giving back all the gains basically from his presidency. Not only all the gains from his presidency, but giving back all the gains from, where is it?
103.8.
Giving back
We're
all
back
the gains from the tweet from the other day is also important. Right? We gave back all of that. That altcoin strategic reserve tweet. And where's my...
We don't trust him anymore on his tweets anyway. We need proof in price.
Here it is, look. What's it? Others? No, it's not. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, I must have already taken it out. But yeah, we've given back on all the alts that were on that list. We've given back the tweet pump.
Even you sure about that?
I have to triple check, but if it's not, if it hasn't given it back completely, it's almost given it back. H-bar was holding out the best, but it wasn't even.
No, it has. I think Ada just finally gave back everything. It was at like 64 when he tweeted.
So that means anybody that bought into that hype is now either at break even or underwater if they didn't take profits.
He tweeted when Ada Cardano was at 64 and it just tapped 64. Yeah. Same with XRP. XRP was a little higher. XRP went lower.
So what we're seeing is that all that positive sentiment gets sucked out of the market. So as much as it sucks to see price down at these levels, it really just gave back the artificial pump from the hype tweet.
And did Dominus make... Oh no, Dominus didn't make a new yearly high though.
No, 64 is the high.
Some of it is left.
Yeah, 64.
Oh, but that was Eve collapsing 30% in a single candle. Yeah. Never mind. That's when, that's why I say it's sad. They sold before they got hacked. Like literally. Eve got sold before it got hacked.
Well, you got to remember that they forced Lazarus sold off ETH before the hack. Dumped ETH prices.
Really?
Right? Yeah. Made a run on ETH. What that forced was Bybit to move ETH from their cold storage to their hot storage. So they created the reason that Bybit had to move it, and then they targeted them on the move. Brilliant shit, really, at the end of the day. Well played. Again, you can't control somebody, but you can control the metrics that make them, that make them make decisions on their actions. So they couldn't make Bybit move that from cold wallet and bring that ETH into risk. But they controlled the price of ETH, which in turn made them have to do that. That shit will be studied somewhere at hacker school. There's a hacker school, they're studying that shit. It was a third party that they had, Puffy. They were using a smart contract wallet called Safe Global. And apparently the interface from the wallet was hacked. So what they were looking at wasn't what they were looking at, and then the transaction that they okayed had a secondary transaction inside of it. So had they opened up the transaction and followed all of the ins and outs, they would have seen the secondary transaction. But they were so used to doing it that, they just had their 3 multi-sigs, everybody signed off. The wallet was the same. Right? The wallet was the wallet that they're supposed to be sending it to. But in the smart contract, there was an extra exit that sent it from that wallet to another wallet before it even landed in wallet A. Couple things they could have done to easily fix that. One, have somebody audit every transaction, right? Open it up, down to the all the way through the smart contract. 2, send the damn test transaction. You know what I mean? Like, we should all be sending text transactions. I don't care if you're sending $1,000 to somebody. If you've never used that wallet before, send $1 or whatever makes sense as far as like gas fees. But if you're sending $1.5 billion worth of ETH in a single transaction without doing a test, you deserve whatever happens to you. I send test transactions to my own wallets. Not even somebody else's wallets. My own wallets that are already whitelisted. I send the test just out of habit. I've got a bunch of crows stuck in Coinbase because I didn't do that from last bull market. Sometimes you forget about these rules, man. You're moving really fast. There's an arbitrage that you're trying to catch. And you relax your rules a little bit.
My exchange got hacked 1.5 billion and it's still working. That's all I know.
That's what happens when you have good partnerships, man. They got all that ETH back with a couple phone calls and promises. Couple promises, couple phone calls. Taken
Now,
care of.
if Bitcoin is to go down to like 55k, something like that, yeah, I still trust Bybit to survive.
They one thing I discovered is that they've got a big war chest. Like they've got they've got like over $2 billion on the side, just not customer funds, not just oh shit fund, just in case. They got plenty of money.
Yeah, but still, $1.5 billion, it's enough of a loss.
That should be enough to wreck anybody. Yeah, that's enough to where if you're doing anything shady, it's gonna be exposed. Right? If there was any commingling of funds, they would have been wrecked. What's another thing that saved them? Right? None of those were customer funds. They were not one single dollar of customer deposits was hacked.
Yeah, but it is the collateral they were holding for customer funds, no?
No, they're hold one to one. The what they had in their cold wallet is just that's just operational ETH that they use whenever they need to inject liquidity. But that's the big imagine if you're the hackers, right? That's what you want. You want that big bag. I gotta run out to the store here. I'm just waiting to see if we can get over this 200 so we can invalidate this bear flag. As of right now, it's just a retest of the break. We slide the flag over. Just a bearish retest of the breakdown.
But we're back above the previous low.
Yeah. But until we invalidate that measured move is still in play. 75.6.
Back above 28 February.
Dishes, honey. I do the dishes. I do. I want you to be able to study. You're already cooking and everything.
You got an open mic, brother?
Huh?
Open mic?
Dude, us being at these lows, if Powell is at all bearish on Wednesday, we're just gonna crash.
No, we'll pump. When Powell is bearish, we pump. When Powell is bullish, we dump. You know, Powell was bearish at October 2022. We pumped. I mean, lately it didn't work, right? Powell was bearish. Actually, it worked.
He's not bullish or bearish. He's hawkish or dovish.
Well, same stuff, right? But yeah, you're right. No, lately Powell won. I mean, we made a new. We made new all-time highs twice after he had this bearish speech, hawkish speech, and yeah, he managed to break the uptrend. Last time we got a break of an uptrend on S&P, it was 5th of August, and we threatened the overall up move since COVID Ukraine dip, and well, it got bought up like hell. Like that didn't last long. A month later, you were back in price discovery. Right, 5th of August, and there's no ABC, there's no nothing down there. It's just a three-day sell-off, leaving gaps, and then straight back up. I mean, it took a while to go back up, but there was no double bottom, no ABC, no nothing. I mean, you had an ABC, but it was higher, 5,400. You could have bought like that, 5,400. Where we even come back down to confirm support, continue up. So maybe we're gonna look at something similar here. You know, this is going down. SPY is at 560, but eventually it will start reclaiming lost supports. The first one is gonna be 5,725. Once you break above 5,800 again, target is all-time highs, maybe just a lower high to keep the bears in the game, to then come back down to 5,800, confirm support, and then go up to all-time highs. That would be pretty amazing recovery for Trump. But for now, he doesn't need a recovery. Midterms are in 2 years, right?
You guys haven't even discussed that they have to agree on a budget to keep the government open. If they don't and they shut it down, forget it.
It's expected, you know.
Forget about
This
it.
is Friday, right? I think
But
that's
why
this
wouldn't
Friday.
they agree? I thought Republicans won everything. Like, who's gonna make them not agree? How does that work if there's no opposition that can win a vote? How, like, you mean the Republicans are not going to agree between themselves about the budget? Oh, boy.
I mean, it still comes down to a vote. So I mean, there's opposition parties, and then even there's people within the party that have dissenting votes. So yeah, sometimes it does happen.
Okay. Because Democrats don't have enough people to stop a budget, right? And why would they do that anyway?
In the Senate, they need Democratic votes to pass it. In Congress, it's a very slim margin, like by 2-vote difference, something like that.
Really? He doesn't have the Senate, Trump? Oh.
He has the Senate, but he still needs a certain percentage of votes to pass that. So he needs the Democrats to vote for it too, some of them. Not all of them.
Okay, it's not 50-50. It's like a 2/3 majority vote, no, where you need like 66% or something like that. So he needs a bit more
like
than. Okay, I get it. Oh, so yeah, I guess we'll have the typical government shutdown stuff.
It's probably 60%.
60%. But you know that I mean, personally, that thing doesn't really scare me because it happens every year. So it's a bit like our strikes. You know, when France goes on strike, stock market doesn't care because it's just expected. I mean, it's typical. Like, you know, April, May, when the weather starts to be good in France, we're gonna have strikes. Although maybe a bit less this year because there's nobody to strike against. Like, we literally have no government doing anything. So why would you even strike?
This is hilarious.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, Macron dissolved the parliament, the house, and there's no majority anywhere. So I'm not sure who would strike against who. Like, why? Yeah, I think it solved a bit the strike issues. Like there's not going to be a lot of strikes until 2027. And,
They're gonna start protesting against protest.
like, I'm really not sure against who you would protest. Because he's not doing anything. Like, which law would they protest against? There's just nothing happening. I mean, they could protest against inflation, against, yeah, I mean, they could just do general protest, I guess.
Is that why a lot of French people are Protestants? Because it's in their nature to protest?
Actually, we're not. It's British and Irish people that are Protestants. No, France is Catholic.
Nah, I'm just joking.
But yeah, but I don't know. It's history. But it's how society evolves. Our leaders don't really have, the population's interest. So when we're not happy, we protest, and sometimes it works. Like we got vacation like that. We got plenty of stuff.
Hey, I'll be right back, guys. Give me a second. Trying to see a little bit of Twitter buzz. I want to see what this is about.
But still, June, May, June, lots of opportunities to strike because the weather gets good, so it's a good time to strike. Because you don't want to strike in winter.
Ukrainian NATO cyber attack against Elon Musk.
What? Really? So now Ukraine is attacking America? Oh, that's a good one.
They've been doing that all day on X.
It's
DDoS attacks.
Fake news. What to buy on this dip? So okay, crypto we know roughly, we have TA, we know a lot of stuff. But how about other stuff? Like we're not gonna buy only crypto. Yeah, things are dipping. Let's buy a little bit of everything. Why put all the eggs in crypto?
Don't you get it, Yazuzi? It's eggs versus crypto.
Oh, right.
We're pricing our Bitcoin in eggs now.
Would you buy Nvidia below 100?
Yeah, probably. Is it below 100 right now?
No, it's not, but it's not far. You're gonna get that. I mean, it seems like you're gonna get that. You could even get 50 on Nvidia, and that there I would buy without hesitating too much. I guess
50?
80.
Yeah, definitely buy that.
Well, it built some resistance before breaking 50, so that should act as support. No, there's supports before that too, right? Like 96, 100, somewhere there. 98. We left a big wick at 91.
Why did Bitcoin double top like that? So weird.
Double top at 110. Ah, well.
Cleared out any shorts and then ended up falling anyway.
Sometimes shorts win without getting too much worried. I mean, we never really traded above the 4 hour since 110K. Bitcoin never, yeah, we got a bit of a wick above the